What up, y'all? I'm back with another review, and I'm here to review this new album, the fourth studio album from ScHoolboy Q, Blank Face LP. Now, as you can see, I'm sure a lot of y'all have already seen, he's not going with the Jordan face as his album cover. I mean, that would have been a real troll, but he went with this, and I like this album cover. It's weird. I kind of want to say I see like this dude isn't Freddy Krueger about. This dude is a blank face who has some has a something over his face, if you ask me. Sunshades, and regular jackets, and one of those hats that makes you think, oh yeah, this dude is definitely hanging around in the woods too much. And it kind of looks like he's in the middle of the woods, but the tree limbs are in the clouds. The clouds are like orange, sort of pinkish, a little bit of red in there. Those kind of clouds, but at the same time, I feel like I see uh, disturbed nerves that are just disconnected from um, the actual nerve itself, but the connection, the tubes, the wires, they're all over the place because they're just not connected anymore. This album cover makes me think. It really makes me think. I'm keep looking at that. But like I said, ScHoolboy Q Blank Face LP. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Fourth studio album. Here we go. Track number one, Torch. This is Q talking about his life, and he does that all over this album. Just to let you know now. Neighborhood reactions to injustice, childhood memories of poverty, money making everything better. At least that was what was thought. And I feel like there's an uncredited. Well, no, there is uncredited Anderson .Paak vocals on here. Track number two, I like this song. Lord Have Mercy. Q was talking about being real and how being real it's bullshit. Being real never brought any groceries home. So he's like, man, fuck that being real shit. Track number three, That Part, one of the singles released for this project. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see the big deal about it. I mean, Q seems like he's just flexing and trying to be foreign. That's what it seems like. I feel like I've heard this instrumental somewhere before, and it's featuring Kanye West. And to be honest, Jay's verse is kind of funny. I think he's trying to do his best Young Thug impersonation. I don't see the big deal about this song. The beat's cool, but I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. Track number four, Groovy Tony. I want to say this was another feature. I mean, single release for this project / Eddie Kane featuring Jadakiss. Q was MCing sorta at first. Kiss had the better verse, but barely. Eddie Kane is better if you ask me. Q was talking about coming from the dirt, still standing and not taking shit, or taking shit, not accepting shit. And he calls out his uncle and his family who fucked the family up. Track number five, one of my favorite tracks on here, Know You're Wrong, featuring Lance Skywalker. I love the slow, small, jazz-infused horns on here. And Q has said he's tired of Give Me. And I like the DJ cuts on here as well. He's tired of people hitting up his phone now that he's on, trying to bring him down. Some of them are, at least. And the beat transition kind of took away from the first part of the song. But it was still cool. And in this beat transition, Q was starting to talk to a girl. And it seems like every album, we can't go without that. Not ScHoolboy Q, just every hip-hop album now, it seems like. Track number six, Ride Out, featuring Vince Staples. I see why it's called Ride Out, because it's some gang banging type shit. Gang banging, ride on them fools type of beat, and some gang bang lyrics from Q and Vince. I want to say Q had the better verse. And the end guitar, like the near end, that guitar in there was pretty okay. I like that being featured in there. Pretty good track. I like it. Track number seven, Whatever You Want, featuring Candice Pillay. This is a song about Q telling a girl she can have whatever she wants. I like the beat. It's weird, but I like it though. Track number eight, By Any Means. I like this beat too, and the vocals. Get yours, by any means. And there are uncredited Kendrick Lamar vocals on here. There are a lot of there are a few uncredited vocals on here. Track number nine, Dope Dealer featuring E40. Metro Boomin produced. It doesn't sound too Metro if you ask me, but maybe if Future was on there, I would think it sounds like Metro. Who knows? But classic 40 verse. You know how 40 verses is, especially these days. Just make you want to fucking laugh. Especially if you're not too familiar with E40, you'd be like, man, who the fuck is this dude? 40 he just 40. That's all I can say. John Muir featuring. Well, no, that's just him. The chorus is on some real jazzy type shit, and I like that. Q was speaking on his life as a teenage drug dealer and what he remembers as far as being profiled, friends being lost, etc. And I fuck with the heavy scratches on here. I like this. Track number 11, Big Body featuring a Dog Pound. This is a groovy, Tyler the Creator produced this track. This is a groovy, funky, riding, old school, at least to the 90s West Coast hip hop type shit. I mean, I mess with this. Q, he does okay over it, but of course the Dog Pound does better over it because that's where they come from. Track number 12, Never Change. I just knew I was going to like this because DJ Dye, he had a hand in it. He's one of my top 3 favorite producers out right now, along with DJ Khalil and Big Crit. And this is actually one of my 2 favorite tracks on here. This and the next track actually. She was talking about living in the hood, dad and mom problems, grandma being there to make everything okay, well, better, and haters being the reason why the hood can't grow. And it's a song to tip really slow to. This is my favorite track on here. Next to this, it's in tie with track number 13, Straight Ballin'. And he talks about a lot on here. My goodness. Oh yeah, Never Change is featuring SZA. The beginning kind of made me think it was had a flashing light sample from Kanye, off Graduation. I love the late night riding through a storm type of feel on this, and the reminisce type feel. Q was reminiscing on a lot of shit. I had to write a lot of shit down. I wanted to get all this. Needing to sell dope because he thought his money wouldn't grow, and then he didn't think he was good enough to ever become a big time drug dealer, and growing up with nothing, being told he was never gonna have nothing or be nothing. And imagining having it all in his mind as he was out there grinding and going from sleeping on Top Dog's couch to having multiple bank accounts and the mall being his house now, and how he could make a meal flip easily. And but as a kid, how they tried to down him. And the Picture Me Rolling on the hook the chorus was cool because just the fact that Picture Me Rolling is mentioned in this song is great because it has a type of feel like Tupac Picture Me Rolling. I done came up from this, now Picture Me Rolling. And the song being titled Straight Ballin', Pac has a song titled Straight Ballin'. It's like, okay, I get what's going on here. This is kind of a ode to Pac. And it even had, of course, Picture Me Rolling, Pac. So, but still, talks about being from the ghetto as a kid. Picture him rolling from the ghetto as a kid to the deluxe apartment in the sky. And he remembers grinding back in the day, but now he knows what money has done for him because he knows what it's like to have money, like get him clothes, a new roof over his head, and how he was raised. Him and his friends in the hood were raised by, the hood was raised by single mothers, and the judge taught the hood numbers, and they learned colors in the street, Bloods, Crips, and all that shit. And what he's done to get where he is now, and from being king of the corner to now he's rolling weed on his diploma. Yeah, I said he said a lot of shit, so I had to say a lot of shit. One of my favorite tracks on there. It's my favorite track on there. It's between Straight Ballin' and Never Change. I just knew I'd like Never Change, like I said, though. DJ Dahi put his touch on that, so of course. Track number 14, Black Thoughts. This is a jazzy, slow drum, soft drum type of feel on this beat. Q was talking about being, broken homes in the hood, and mama working hard to pay the rent, daddy's leaving them in fucked up situations, and he calls out people's favorite rappers saying they fake. They're talking about they got a key and all that shit that they still have from 1993, and how they trying to fool people, and talks about slaves and black people's names, not really being our last names really, because Black Thoughts. We think about this shit. Dead blacks, stopping violence, raising the kids, how some friends are fake, they'll look at you on the ground like, what the fuck? Because they were fake in the first place. They'll let it happen to you, and you shouldn't let that happen because what's your grandma gonna think when she looks at her grandson's dead body and shit? And how all lives matter. And really, another uncredited Kendrick feature on here. His vocals are just lower pitched. It's like this, nigga. What did he say? Black thoughts and marijuana, shit like that. I'm like, see, that's just that weird Kendrick shit, but I fuck with it. Track number 15, Blank Face feature Anderson .Paak, who dropped my 4th favorite project this year, second studio album, Malibu. Check that out. It's good to see Anderson .Paak on this project and so many other projects. K Tronada, of course, he was on Game and Dr. Dre's projects. He's produced for some big names as well. KD commercial, Double XL Freshman. Signed to Dr. Dre, Aftermath. It's like, man, Anderson .Paak's having that. This past year has just been amazing for him. But still, more hood stories, and Paak is even talking about building a future for him and his woman is always at home waiting for him. She wants him home, and it's a low key ride appeal song, but it's more sit down to think about the present and the future too, if you ask me. And Q did all right. Track number 16, Overtime, featuring Miguel and Justine Syke. This shit bangs, and it's a banging song. Like, literally, it's a banging song. It's a fucking song. It's talking about, I want to cut right now. I want to cut right now. And it's talking about OT, like OT, because if basically saying if the pussy good, might have to put in overtime. Like, just maybe go 2 rounds, some shit like that. And track number 17, Took Your Nose 2, featuring Traffic and TF. This is a hood anthem. This is a song about, well, pretty much dying for and about the hood. And it's a slow, calm, semi-banger. It's cool. It's cool. But out of these 17 tracks, I have check marks on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have check marks on 10 out of the 17 tracks on here. So I knew I'd like this album anyway, just because it's ScHoolboy Q. I love that oxymoron, which I think is better than this. Yes, that was number one in the country, number one in the whole country. But this is not as good, but it's still cool. I mean, it's got some nice production on here. Of course, Soundwave, Tyler the Creator, DJ Dai, Metro Boomin, Alchemist was on here. Oh, he produced Know You're Wrong. It was one of my favorite tracks on here as well. And it has some cool features. I mean, well, actually, not really. Anderson .Paak pretty much the only one that's like really so memorable. Like E40 because it's 40, but I'm not gonna remember the Vince Staples. I'm gonna remember Lance Skywalker, but Yay just because it's the single, that part, and Jadakiss, man, it was okay. And this album was kind of weird, especially the first half. Like the first song, I was like, okay, he's going for a new sound. He even talked about exploring the new pop sound in a new interview. But as we got into the second half and towards the end, I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. But really, like almost getting to the second half, but early in the second half, when you got Never Change, Straight Ball, my two favorite tracks on here. Highlights of the album, if you ask me. Well, two of the main for me. But overall, I can say this is an okay project. Now, but I don't mean okay like, oh, it's a 5 or a 6. No, this is a nice, this is a nice 77 out of 100. I'll give it a C grade. If you've heard this project, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. What you think about my review on it. And be sure to hit the like button if you like the video. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new. Get me on Twitter, Facebook, AudioMac, SoundCloud, Instagram. Hit up my email for business or anything. And what I mean by business is if you need your music chopped and screwed, you need your music reviewed, you need a beat made or beats made, or if you want to be featured on one of my upcoming DJ mixtapes, just like I said, business email for comment. Leave a comment on the video if that's easier for you, or social media. Just check the description. Everything you need to know is in there. And if you want to donate to support my movements as far as YouTube, music, entertainment, etc., you can donate to DynamicJAB@gmail.com through PayPal. And that's the same as my business email. So that's pretty much it. 77 out of 100. C grade. Is it worth the cop? I'd have to give it more listens to see if it's worth a cop. But I definitely think I'm leaning towards it's probably worth copping, but will I cop it? I'm not sure. I think just a little bit of fat could have been trimmed. It didn't need to be 17 tracks long. But still, pretty okay project. Like I said, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.